Alright, so initially I was gonna make a video talking about the new Megadeth song, which came out like a week or two ago, or something like that. But at that time, I was very, very ill, and I'm still recovering from that. But at some point, I'll make a video talking about that song whenever, so be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, I might as well show you this. This is the my newest purchase, the PRS Mark Holcomb SC Signature. I wouldn't really call myself a hardcore Periphery or Mark Holcomb fan, but the guys at Periphery, just in general, are absolute technical wizards in the metal scene right now. I would say Periphery 3 and 4, which is the third and fourth album, if you don't know, are probably the best albums in my opinion. And just in general, the guitarists, Misha Mansour, Mark Holcomb, Jake Bowen, those guys are like fucking like wizards on the guitar. Like the amount, like different technical chords they play, it's just absolutely nuts. And they, that sort of playing kind of inspires me, like for my sort of playing. I mean, my playing is just absolutely fucking a mess. It's chaotic, right? Their playing is more, a bit more clean, compared to me. But they are very, very inspirational. But out of all the signatures that they put out on for each artist, whether it's Jackson, PRS, Ibanez, whatever, this guitar always stood out to me the most. And so I bit the bullet and finally got one. Right out of the, gig bag, which you actually do get, like, stock, which is a good thing because you don't really see that all the time. It's mostly due to like over £1,000 guitars. This guitar like costs like, in the UK it costs like under £1,000, but it's nice to see that you do actually get a gig bag in it, along with like trustworthy tools and this and that. And also this guitar does come stock with a pair of 10 to 52s, which is my preferred string gauges. While the gig bag, it is a very nice looking guitar. This is actually like the first PRS like I ever bought. I did play one like years ago, which was called a Torero. It had like Floyd Rose and EMGs. That guitar was pretty damn good from what I remember, but other than that, nothing else. In terms of PRS, and so this is my first guitar I ever bought. So via the gig bag, it is a nice looking guitar, but I'm not sure what this type of finish is called. I mean, the last one was called a Holcomb burst. I think this is kind of like the same thing, but it's got like this more blue outline, which I honestly prefer most because, not to be biased here, blue is my favorite color. The main thing what drew me to this guitar was the 20-inch fretboard radius, which I don't really see much with a lot of guitars, but it has been kind of creeping up in the guitar market from what I've seen very, very recently, and I just want to give it just want to give it a try. So what do I think of it? It's too flat. just to make it very simple, but in the long explanation, I do think fretboards do need a curve to them, because what happens is that like it's fine, you play it, it's all good, right? But sometimes because of how flat it is, and I'm not someone that is like very who can notice like certain specs. Like if you ask me like, oh, what kind of shape necklace is it a D, is it a C, or whatever, I mean, I don't fucking know. I just think it just feels good, But the fretboard radius on this, I can 100% tell that there's something up with this fretboard. It's a bit too flat for me. It needs a bit of a curve to it, because when you're playing like, for example, like chords like not chords, like this type of scale, like that sort of thing, it needs that sort of roundness to it personally, at least for me. I think 6-inch radius is like the lowest I can possibly go. Anything else is just absolutely nuts. But at least I played it or tried it, and it does make it go fast though. So that's a plus. The new pickups in this, which are the Seymour Duncan Skull and Scourge, which from the amount of promotional videos I've seen, they discuss that it's more low output pickup compared to the Alpha Omegas, which were more higher. But these ones are have a bit more clarity to it. I can agree with the low output part, which initially I'm not really a big fan of, because I prefer more high output pickups than low output pickups, but whatever, it's a personal preference. But the whole clarity thing, unfortunately guys, due to the problems what I have with this guitar, the whole clarity thing, I just couldn't get it right, because going to the issue what I have with this guitar, when I was setting it up, like lowering the strings, because the strings were just super high, and just like, I didn't really touch the neck relief at all. I had to do that like after. Set up the radius of the saddles, because these are individual saddles. I'm not really the biggest fan of these type of bridges, but I'm willing to give it a chance, or accept the challenge. So I managed to do like the right height the best I could with the tools I have. I did replace the strings with like new pair of strings. That's just something that I do anyway. When I did that, I mean, literally guys, like the buzzing on this guitar is absolutely nuts. It doesn't matter where I play on this guitar, it is constantly buzzing. It doesn't matter where I play, what fret I play, doesn't matter. String, whatever. And like I released the neck a little bit, because it was gonna a little bit, it wasn't really much relief on it anyway. But even still, it was still buzzing. And not to mention, it sounded like a tin can. Like, I pick very, very hard, right? Well, sometimes. And when I do, like, it does not sound good at all. So that whole clarity thing, what comes with these pickups initially, forget about it. Like, I literally could not get any clear sounds on any string as possible. So that's unfortunate. And not to mention, I could not get this guitar in tune, like, at all. No matter how much I stretch the strings, and when I think that I actually got it in tune, it just falls right back. And even when it is in tune, like, I literally couldn't tell, because all I can hear was just like constant ringing, and not like an actual note. If you guys know what I mean. I really wanted this guitar to, like, sound good and play good and this and that. I mean, obviously I knew that this guitar was going to be set up like it was string height and all the above, but at least stuffing of it would have been decent. But I mean, unfortunately, yeah, it's kind of the same issue what I had with like previous guitars what I bought. It doesn't matter what it is, like a fret buzz, or like the nuts is the guitar nut is like cut incorrectly or whatever. It's always like kind of either one of those things, which is unfortunate. But if you do have the same guitar as me, and you probably like don't run into the same issue as I do, and that's absolutely fine. I mean, you're probably having a grandiose of a time playing this guitar than I do. Just like another minor thing, the tone knob it's a little bit loose, but not as much. It's also a little loose when you roll down the tone knob and whatever. The volume knob is a bit more stiffer, but it's at the right amount of stiff. Three-way selector switch feels fine. Like I said, the input jack problem, it's loose, but at least like all the electronics in it do function correctly. But it's just like the constant buzzing. I mean, due to that, I've decided to sell this guitar, because I'm not gonna mess around with it anymore. I mean, I've tried my best, yeah. So overall, not really a good impression, but I am glad that I did manage to check out this guitar, because I like to see, in terms of signature guitars, I like to see what makes it tick, what makes it a signature model, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's really about it, guys. Tell me what you think about this guitar in the comments, if you do own the exact same guitar. And in the next part of this video, you'll be seeing me, well, play the guitar. Forgive my playing. I haven't really been playing the guitar for a little while now because I was ill, obviously. So a little bit rusty, and take my playing with a grain of salt. But first, you'll be hearing the overdrive part, and then like the next will be the more, well, I wouldn't say clean, but it's more like an ambient, clean sound. I'll put the timestamp in the description below if you want to skip to that, which is something that I should have said at the beginning of this video. But that's really about it, guys, and I will see you in the next video.